When a cheetah cub was born as the smallest one in the litter, its mother rejected it. The wildlife reservists recognized the need to intervene, but needed to figure out how to care for the cub since they lacked other cheetahs to introduce it to. However, they devised a brilliant plan to assist the cub, involving a completely different species. Zeke and his colleague Jake were dedicated employees at a wildlife sanctuary. They had joined the sanctuary immediately after graduating from college, and for the past 4 years, they had wholeheartedly pursued their shared passion for wildlife, particularly predatory felines. Their commitment to these wonderful creatures had played a significant role in securing their positions at the sanctuary, working with various wild cats, ranging from cheetahs to tigers. Their primary objective was to provide exceptional care and ensure the utmost quality of life for these animals within the sanctuary's confines. Throughout the years, a particular spring occurred when a female cheetah was ensnared in a trap set by heartless poachers. Abandoned and left for dead, her fate seemed bleak. The team wasted no time and swiftly transported the cheetah to the sanctuary, where Zeke and Jake dedicated their efforts, ensuring her thorough examination and care. The diligent veterinarians thoroughly examined the cheetah at the sanctuary, providing her with the necessary care. To everyone's relief, it was determined that her condition was not severe. The trap had fortunately only grazed her paw, causing minimal harm. With a few stitches and proper medical attention, she was expected to make a swift and complete recovery. This positive prognosis meant she could soon return safely to her original habitat. Besides her injuries, the veterinarian also observed another important detail. She was heavily pregnant. Despite the staff's inability to engage directly with her, they were thrilled about the opportunity to witness the birth of cheetah cubs. It was an exceptionally uncommon occurrence that filled them with excitement. Within the sanctuary grounds, 2 Africanus dogs, Ruxa and Rhina, also resided. Having been rescued by the sanctuary staff, Ruxa and Rhina had found a loving home in the sanctuary community. Everyone had embraced them as part of the family. Upon the mother cheetah's arrival at the sanctuary, it immediately became evident that the 2 dogs were completely infatuated with her. The veterinarian attributed their behavior to the cheetah's pregnancy, as dogs can sense such things. Every afternoon, as Zeke and Jake walked past the enclosure, they would often catch glimpses of Ruxa or Rhina peacefully snoozing nearby. It was a heartwarming sight. However, the sanctuary staff grew increasingly anxious as the cheetah's due date approached. They were well aware that any day now, she would go into labor, and they needed to be prepared to assist her during the process. Fortunately, unbeknownst to the staff, they had set the alarm for when the cheetah would give birth. On the awaited day, the atmosphere was filled with frenzy as the staff panicked. Ruxa and Rhina, the 2 dogs, were unleashing wild howls, bewildering everyone present. The veterinary expert cast a glance at them and swiftly assured their well-being. The peculiar occurrence kept the staff on edge until they realized the dog's howls were directed toward the cheetah during labor. Hidden in a cluster of rocks within her enclosure, she eluded the dogs, escaping their line of vision. The staff expressed immense gratitude towards Ruxa and Rhina for their alert as they eagerly prepared to witness the awe-inspiring miracle of life. This extraordinary event promised to be a rare occurrence, with an astonishing twist. The mother cheetah successfully gave birth to 3 cubs, each exhibiting robust health. The atmosphere was filled with sheer delight as everyone was overwhelmed with joy. Initially, they had anticipated only 1, but to their astonishment, 3 precious beings had arrived. With a slight whimper, Ruxa and Rhina conveyed their discomfort, while the mother cheetah, visibly distressed, restlessly paced back and forth. It was at that moment that they caught sight of it. In utter disbelief, she continued to give birth to a 4th cub, leaving everyone in awe. 4 cubs were an extraordinary occurrence, a rarity in nature. However, A concern arose as the fourth cub appeared noticeably smaller, encountering difficulties maneuvering on the ground. It was evident that something was gravely amiss. The resident veterinarians exchanged whispered conversations, their voices filled with apprehension. Zeke's curiosity compelled him to seek answers, but his discovery shattered his heart. The veterinarians swiftly divulged the unfortunate truth. This particular cub appeared to be the runt of the litter from their vantage point. Its diminutive size and struggles in mobility validate their assessment. Furthermore, they expressed grave concerns that the likelihood of the mother rejecting the cub was alarmingly high if their diagnosis proved accurate. As expected, the mother cheetah cautiously sniffed the tiny cub before deliberately averting her gaze, distancing the three healthy siblings from it. Left alone, the struggling little one found itself abandoned in the dirt. The staff anxiously awaited the executive decision, their hope resting upon saving the vulnerable cub. Yet, they remained uncertain about how to proceed, desperately seeking a viable solution. Minutes elapsed before the long-awaited directive arrived. They would intervene and take in the cub. A wave of immense relief washed over everyone. Yet, they were acutely aware that the true challenge had just begun. The clock began ticking, demanding round-the-clock efforts to ensure the survival of the fragile cub. Surrogating a newborn feline was always daunting, particularly when suitable replacement mothers were scarce. With utmost care, the cub was delicately extracted from its enclosure and transported for a thorough evaluation. As anticipated, the veterinarians discovered that the cub was significantly underdeveloped and faced various health challenges. Its legs were noticeably bowed, and it struggled with digestion issues. Fortunately, the vets had the expertise to address these complications with ease. However, their current predicament is finding a suitable caregiving solution to empower the cub to fight for its life. A rather intriguing solution arose in the minds of Zeke and Jake, one that seemed both daring and unconventional. They engaged in extensive discussions, initially considering it as sheer madness. Surely, no one would deem it a good idea. Yet, a glimmer of hope persisted within them. With cautious optimism, they presented their proposal to the overseeing staff. Their suggestion entailed introducing the cub to Ruxa and Reyna, the two dogs. Zeke and Jake firmly believed that these canine companions would provide the much-needed care and companionship for the small cheetah. Socialization during the cub's formative days was of the utmost importance, especially given the lack of alternative families available to accommodate its needs. Initially, the senior staff regarded the two dogs with a perplexed expression, unsure of the feasibility of their proposed idea. However, faced with limited alternatives, they decided to embrace the audacious endeavor and give it a chance. Ruxa and Reyna were placed in an enclosure while the cub was slowly introduced. It became immediately apparent that the dogs were thrilled to have a new companion. Their tails wagged vigorously, showing concern for the tiny cub's well-being. As the staff gently placed the cub beside the dogs, Ruxa instinctively began showering it with gentle licks, drawing it closer to her own body. Reyna stood tall and watchful, assuming a protective stance over them. The young men's unconventional solution was what they had hoped for. Zeke and Jake anxiously observed from the sidelines, their fingers crossed, hoping for success. When the plan unfolded seamlessly, it ignited a triumphant celebration among all involved. 2 years later, the cub, now named Kina, remained inseparable from her two steadfast companions, Ruxa and Reyna. Kina underwent numerous leg surgeries and faced chronic issues, but her loyal canine companions supported her and offered comfort. Although she may never experience life in the wild, she leads a magnificent existence. frolicking around the sanctuary alongside two remarkably unexpected friends. What do you think of this incredible story? Let us know in the comments section below. See you next time. Bye for now.